Restructuring Your Mind Through Samurai Philosophy. Section 1. The System Crash. Your life isn't complicated because you have too much tragedy. It's complicated because your brain is grinding itself down processing dozens of things that aren't, even real problems. Right now, right this second. How many background apps are running in your head? That unanswered email. The argument from Tuesday that's still playing on loop. Tomorrow's meeting giving you anxiety. The phone vibration from 3 minutes ago. A stupid comment online that rubbed you the wrong way. What to eat for dinner. Skipping the gym and feeling guilty. Comparing yourself to someone on social media. Look at all of it. Is any single one of those an actual emergency? Hell no. 99% of it is total garbage. But what about your brain? It's still splitting up its processing power, wiping out its memory to run all those junk apps simultaneously. The result? When it comes time to do the one thing you actually need to do right now, your battery is dead. That's why you feel exhausted, even though you haven't accomplished anything meaningful all day. That's why you can't focus for more than 10 minutes. That's why your mind crashes by noon. You aren't tired from working too hard. You're tired because the operating system in your head is being destroyed by thousands of background viruses. Ancient samurai called the ideal state of mind Mizuno Kokoro, mind like water. A lake smooth as glass, reflecting every object with absolute precision because not a single ripple disturbs its surface. Not empty, not emotionless, still, a mind so free of noise that when a real threat appears, 100% of its resources instantly fire off to execute a decisive strike. And your mind right now, it's not a lake, it's a hurricane. And that storm isn't coming from your life circumstances. It's coming from an entire system that never had a firewall installed to filter out what's worth keeping and what needs to be thrown out. Section 2. Cognitive Budget and the 35,000 Decisions Trap. Face the cold, hard truth. Your brain doesn't have infinite capacity. It runs on a fixed daily cognitive budget. Every thought, every decision, every emotion, every notification you swipe past, it's a direct charge to your mental bank account. Look at a landmark behavioral science study on parole judges. Early in the morning, parole approval rates were remarkably high. But as the day wore on, that number plummeted off a cliff to almost zero. Same judges, same legal files, same laws applied. So what was the only difference? By the afternoon, the judges' cognitive budgets were completely bankrupt. Their brains were exhausted from making hundreds of continuous decisions, so they defaulted to the safest, lowest energy choice, denied. This exact phenomenon is wrecking your life every single day. Before the digital age, humans faced around 100 decisions a day. Today, your brain is forced to carry 35,000 decisions, big and small. Your brain hasn't evolved much past your ancestors, yet its processing load has increased 350 times over. What to wear to work, what to eat for breakfast, which text to read first. Click this video or scroll past. Every single seemingly harmless micro-decision silently drains your energy balance. By the time you need to make a high-stakes life or career decision, your cognitive account is tapped out. You make bad choices not because you lack talent, but because your brain was bankrupted by thousands of garbage choices earlier in the day. The samurai understood this economy of the mind better than anyone. They radically simplified their daily routines. Same attire, same meals, same training protocol. Make no mistake, that wasn't a lack of creativity. They did it because every automated decision saved budget for the battlefield. A warrior who spent the morning debating what outfit to wear stepped onto the battlefield mentally, exhausted. A warrior who automated routine stepped onto the battlefield with full capacity ready for pure survival. Simplifying your life isn't interior design or a trendy aesthetic. It's a calculated strategy for cognitive survival. Section 3, Firewall 1, KETSUDAN, Radical Automation. The Japanese word KETSUDAN doesn't just mean decision. Break down its kanji. Ketsu means to sever, to tear away. Dan means to cut off completely. KETSUDAN isn't weighing options or overthinking. KETSUDAN is the act of permanently eliminating choices. Every morning before you even leave your house, you face 30 to 50 pointless decisions. What to wear today? What to eat for breakfast? Which route avoids traffic? Which email to open first? Should you hit the gym or sleep in? Each question looks small on its own, but together, they silently bleed 15 to 20% of your cognitive budget before your actual workday even begins. The KETSUDAN protocol: cut off these garbage decisions entirely. Don't choose every day, make one choice forever. Fixed wardrobe: pick 5 interchangeable outfits, assign them to specific days of the week. Monday is outfit 1, Tuesday is outfit 2. The decision of what to wear is permanently dead. Automated breakfast: choose a single nutrient-dense meal for weekdays, no variations, no debating. Save variety for the weekend. The first 60 minutes routine: lock in the exact sequence of your morning actions. Stop sitting around wondering what to do next. Lock the sequence. Cutting a single decision saves micro-energy. But when you automate 50 junk decisions, you unlock a massive cognitive surplus the moment you step into your workspace. Your brain stays fully charged while everyone around you hits rock bottom. That's the edge between a knife-sharp mind at 3 p.m. and a foggy brain running on autopilot like the rest of the world. A samurai's armor, weaponry, and path were fixed. When they stepped out the door, zero processing power went to logistics. 100% was locked on survival and tactics. Section 4, Firewall 2, ICHIGYO ZANMAI, target lock. You work with background music playing. Read documents while checking messages every few minutes. You call that multitasking, a superpower. Neuroscience calls it a destructive lie. There is no such thing as multitasking. Your brain is just rapidly toggling between tasks. And every time you switch, your brain never makes a clean break. It leaves behind what researchers call attention residue. A piece of your focus stays trapped in that text you just read, that conversation you overheard, or that notification that buzzed on your desk. You aren't fully focused on your email because part of your brain is still replaying this morning's annoyance. You aren't focused on your work because your memory is busy keeping up with online drama. Studies show it takes your brain an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to return to deep focus after every single interruption. Checking your phone 10 times in a morning. You just incinerated nearly 4 hours of peak work capacity, total destruction. Zen philosophy has a core principle called ICHIGYO ZANMAI, total, wholehearted immersion in a single activity. When eating, just eat. When walking, just walk. When working, just work. One moment, one objective, zero attention residue. The ICHIGYO ZANMAI protocol. Stop working by the clock, work by the target. Select one single task. Flip your phone face down, close every extra browser tab. Lock onto the target until it is completely neutralized. If a stray thought interrupts, jot it down fast on a piece of scrap paper to temporarily offload the data, then instantly return to your current strike. Never chase the thought. That's attention residue trying to trap you. On the battlefield, a samurai never splits attention between 2 opponents at once. There is only one enemy in front of them at any given moment. Lock target, draw sword, eliminate. Then move to the next. A warrior who splits attention between 2 enemies dies by the blade of both. Section 5, Firewall 3, Hijoshin, is this your war? How many times today did you get angry over things that have zero connection to your life? A controversial post online, an ungrounded comment from a stranger, celebrity drama. A headline engineered specifically to incite rage. Every time you get mad, every time you jump into a comment section to argue, you are reaching into your mental bank account and throwing your cognitive budget out the window. That is emotional clutter, the most toxic garbage in existence. It's dangerous because it disguises itself as feeling engaged, like you care about the world or have strong principles. The truth You don't have principles, you're being harvested. The modern content economy runs on the outrage economy. Every shocking post, every trending scandal is a psychological trap. Your anger is the platform's revenue. Your outrage is someone else's engagement metric. You are turning your life energy into free fuel to feed someone else. The samurai concept of heijoshin, everyday mind, isn't apathy or cowardice. It's the art of mastering emotional response. You choose what deserves your energy and pour cold water on everything else. Whenever your emotions are pulled off course, trigger the heijoshin firewall with one question. Is this my war? Does this directly impact your life, family, career, or core goals? If yes, maximize energy, fight to the end. Is it someone else's drama, an anonymous opinion, or worthless noise? If no, zero reaction. Zero comment, zero involvement. You can't throw stones at every barking dog along the road and expect to reach your destination on time. A warrior who gets dragged into battles that aren't theirs is a warrior who collapses before reaching the real opponent. Save your emotion for your life and death battles. Everything else? Treat it like noise outside the window. Section 6, Firewall 4, Strategic Silence. Observe how you communicate every day. Not in high-stakes negotiations, but in casual, pointless chatter. Filler words, unprompted explanations, stories told 3 times over, forcing an opinion on topics you barely understand. Do you have any idea how much cognitive energy every spoken word costs? To speak a single sentence, your brain has to form the thought, select vocabulary, manage social context, and monitor the listener's reaction. Talking too much is the dumbest waste of brain power. The samurai concept of chinmoku, strategic silence, isn't muteness or weird social withdrawal. It is an active choice. Speak only when your words create real value, and let silence fill the rest of the room. Strategic silence frees you on 3 fronts at once. Cognitive savings. Every sentence you do not utter is processing power saved for yourself. Weight of your words. When you speak less, every word you drop carries immense weight. People stop and listen because they know when you speak, it's a decision. Processing buffer. Your brain needs silence between conversations to digest data. Constant talking seals off those breaks, keeping your mind in a state of permanent overload. Before you speak, run your words through the Samurai 3-question filter. 1. Does this need to be said? 2. Does this need to be said by me? 3. Does this need to be said right now? If the answer to any of these is no, swallow the words. Hold your energy. Let silence do the heavy lifting. A quiet samurai terrifies an opponent far more than a loud mouth. Silence broadcasts absolute control. Real power never needs to scream to prove itself. Section 7. Firewall 5, Information to Fasting. Your brain is basically a stomach, and you are feeding it a 24/7 garbage buffet. Reels, TikToks, sensationalized news, argument threads, recommended videos, group chat drama, commentary on events you can't even change. Your brain is forced to digest all of it. Every swipe, every headline forces your mind to expend bandwidth to absorb, evaluate, categorize, and dump it out. 99% of that information gets discarded within hours. But you paid the processing cost with your own exhaustion. This is mental constipation. Your mind gets clogged with undigested junk data to the point where there is no space left to think about things that actually matter. Ancient Zen masters and samurai lived on what we call a low-information diet. They didn't know what was happening in the neighboring village. They didn't follow political rumors. They focused purely on martial mastery, their immediate environment, and their life and death mission. Everything else was noise locked outside the mind's gates. The low-info diet protocol, 24-hour data audit. Write down every piece of information you feed your head in a single day. Classify with the blade. Label every source clearly as either directly relevant to life goals or junk data. Execute the purge, unfollow, unsubscribe, mute groups, delete apps. Cut out at least 80% of useless noise. For the first 3 to 5 days, your brain will feel anxious and starved for content. That is dopamine withdrawal from a brain hooked on endless stimulation. Endure it. By day 7, mental clarity returns. A rare cognitive light you haven't felt since childhood will emerge, because your brain finally has room to think for itself instead of grinding away processing garbage. Data. Section 8, Firewall 6, Boredom Void, Embracing the Empty Space. You are terrified of boredom. Every time a gap opens up, waiting at a red light, standing in line for coffee, laying in bed before sleep, your hand reflexively grabs your phone. The void must be filled, silence must be smashed. You shove anything into your eyes and ears to escape the emptiness. Fear of boredom is the final roadblock keeping you from a samurai mind. Because boredom is not the enemy. Boredom is the gateway to the brain's deepest, most powerful cognitive state. When your brain receives zero input, no screens, no sound, no chatter, it immediately activates a specialized neural network, the default mode network, or DMN. This is the only state where the brain freely connects scattered ideas, digests unresolved experiences, and sparks breakthrough thoughts. Every great invention or decision in human history was born in empty space doing nothing. In the shower, on a walk, or during a quiet night. Breakthrough ideas don't happen while scrolling TikTok, but the DMN needs 5 to 10 minutes of unbroken boredom to kick in. If you reach for your phone after 30 seconds of downtime, you slam that creative door shut. You force your brain to stay forever trapped in consumption mode. The boredom void protocol. Create 3 10-minute void windows every day, morning, midday, and night. No music, no books, no screens. Drive without a podcast. Look out the window without checking the news. Sit still and accept the void. The first 3 minutes will feel like a nightmare. Your dopamine system will scream from withdrawal. Hold the line against that blade. By minute 5, the inner noise settles, the pace of thought slows down, and in that silent space your true mind speaks. Original ideas and solutions you've been chasing will surface effortlessly. Section 9, Firewall 7, Nightly Purge, Clearing Temporary Memory. You lay down in bed, turn off the lights, close your eyes, but your brain refuses to shut down. It accelerates. Unfinished thoughts, unsolved problems, unanswered questions from the day rush in all at once. I didn't reply to that email. What about next week's deadline? Did my comment earlier offend them? Psychology calls these open loops. When a task is unfinished or lacks closure, your brain forces that thought to run continuously in RAM, terrified that stopping will mean losing data. So in the dead of night, these loops roar in your mind. They don't solve anything, they just churn, drain your energy, drown you in anxiety, and steal your sleep. The Nightly Purge Protocol. Every night, 5 minutes before sleep, sit down with a notepad and pen. Write down every open loop running in your head. Tasks for tomorrow. Unresolved worries. Lingering anxieties from the morning. Don't polish the wording. Don't try to solve them now. Flush the entire raw dataset onto paper. Handwriting is a literal data transfer from short-term memory to external physical storage. The moment ink hits paper, your nervous system gets confirmation. Data saved, safe. We don't have to carry this anymore. Shut down. Relief is instant, not because problems vanished, but because your brain was relieved of the duty to constantly remember them. Every evening, samurai performed a fixed ritual, cleaning their blade and inspecting their armor. They didn't just do it for tomorrow's prep. It was a psychological command. Today's battle is over, everything is maintained, the mind is permitted to rest. Clear your temporary memory, close the day's battle. Allow your brain to sink into the sleep of a warrior. Section 10. The 24-hour challenge and mental restructuring. A complicated life is an unmanaged life. The world wants you distracted. The system wants you overwhelmed, exhausted, carrying the weight of 1,000 irrelevant problems. They want you outraged over things that don't touch your life, busy with things that don't build your future. Let the crowd carry that garbage weight, not you. Today, you successfully installed all 7 samurai cognitive firewalls into your mind's operating system. KETSUDAN, sever junk decisions, save energy for what matters. ICHIGYO ZANMAI, lock onto one target. Neutralize attention residue completely. Haijoshin, filter emotions with the core question, is this my war? Chinmoku, strategic silence, speak only when words generate real value. Low-info diet, slash 80% of junk data to free up RAM. Boredom void, carve out 3 daily gaps to activate the default mode network. Nightly purge, dump open loops onto paper before sleep. Train your mind to be totally empty against noise, yet filled with razor-sharp focus when stepping into battle. Simplify your life with ruthless precision, so that very simplicity turns you into a formidable power. Here is your challenge tonight. Look directly into your mind right now. How many background tabs are running in your head? Count them honestly and leave that number down below. That number is the distance between who you are right now and the still lake of Mizuno Kokoro. Close background tabs, clear your mind. Become still water. Your battle to restructure your mind starts tonight.